Dr. Guskey's here. We always enjoy her. Audrey is always filled with information like the good doctor who was just with us, Anthony Davies. But we're going to change the channel just a little bit. You're not, I am. And what that means is we're going to talk a little bit about the Steelers winning and its impact. And the people always love to hear that because you're making that all happen. Doctor, always a pleasure.
Well, it's great to be here. Thank you. Super. I'm super duper, and I got my terrible towel.
You do. You've got your black and gold.
I've got the look. Oh, yes.
You do. And the last time I saw you was Christmas, and you had the green on. I mean,
yeah.
You do. This is what you do.
This is what I do.
Yeah,
I'm a marketer, so I market all around.
Yeah, and well, here's the thing. Is marketing easy when a team goes to its 8th World Championship game?
Is marketing easy? Let me rephrase that. Do you even need marketing? When you look at the Steeler organization, they don't have to market. And, you know, that's coming from a marketing professor who's passionate about marketing, that's a huge statement. But because of who they are, the Rooney family, what the brand of the Steelers stands for, it's absolutely huge. And it's a Steeler nation. And so, in reality, they have done everything right. They've established themselves, and they are there. They are the entity to be.
Now, you raised a topic I didn't expect to go to, but let's do that for a second. You just mentioned, in effect, that their brand is so big, it is so identifiable with success and good things, if you will, that they don't have to market, that the product almost markets itself.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
And that's why we are the #1 as far as merchandise in the NFL.
Yeah, but I want to talk about something related to the not having to market, though.
Okay.
I suspect that that's obviously a great thing. Anybody would love to be able to have that. Does that work out for people that they work with? In other words, do they have such leverage in relationships with people that they work with that the dynamic is you're just glad to work with the Steelers?
Yes, that's really true. I mean, they have established a relationship, an image, a reputation, that if you are associated with the Steelers in any way, you are a winner. And that's why the fans are like grabbing and gravitating towards them as well, because we are a winning team. But as far as relationships they've built across, particularly the Western Pennsylvania area, absolutely. I did some customer service training with the Steelers, not with the players, but with the actual game day staff. And, you know, to me, the Rooneys really get it. The whole organization gets it.
How's that?
Because they were trained, they had myself training the Steelers, you know, game day people, the people that were the concessionaires, the vendors, in how to present themselves with the in a sense, customers or the fans. And so that's huge.
Okay, so I assume it extends then, if that's the case, at the hot dog stand.
It does. It certainly does.
Then I'm going to assume that that trickles down from the top, and therefore it applies management to corporate Pittsburgh and beyond. Is that an accurate way to put it?
That's an accurate way to put it, yes.
Okay, so even though the leverage works then for the Steelers, but by definition in your mind it works as well for those associated with it, whether it be the fans or also people up top.
Yes, absolutely does.
Now, there are not a lot of brands that have that.
No, no. If you try to name another one, I don't think I can. I mean, who else, nationally or locally, that has such a strong draw and such a great, immaculate, you get it? Immaculate.
Love it, love it.
You know, reputation.
Black and gold dress.
Black and gold, yes.
Yeah.
So in reality, it's, they've done it. They've done what every marketing organization, what everybody wants to do. They put themselves in a position where they are the Steelers and people come to them. Whether it's for tickets, merchandise, being, you know, some kind of relationship, to have some kind of partnership with them.
And they're rewarded with that.
They are rewarded with it, yes.
All right. Well, that's an interesting take. I wanted to get to that because the fact that they have such, and as I said, the reason I wanted to build that foundation as I would in a courtroom is to get to that point, which is, that's astonishing. That's not the type of thing that you see in I mean, and I tell people, I did a stand-up here just last week when my opening statements, and I talked about how this is not reality. I just, my column in the Pittsburgh Sports Report, I talked about it the other night. This is not reality to have this many opportunities, but it hasn't jaded them in terms of how they manage it in a way to benefit everybody.
And it hasn't jaded the fans because we're still as enthusiastic now as we were in the previous Super Bowls that we won. So it's a phenomenal feat. And I think a lot of people don't recognize that the Pittsburgh fan is so unique. When I was doing the customer service training with the Steelers, I said, the fans, it's not just their fans, phenomenal fans. It's almost a religion we plan our lives around the Steeler and the Steeler games. And so you don't see that in other towns.
Well,
you don't see that with other teams. Maybe Wisconsin, which makes this Super Bowl all the more fun with
absolutely.
Green
And
Bay.
we're going to come back with Audrey and get into that. And also the Troy Polamalu fact that I brought up earlier in terms of his jersey sales with men and women, #1 in the National Football League. But as I said to you right over there the other night, and as I just asked, and as she just gave you, guys, this is not the way it is around the league. There's just not this type of leverage and, for that matter, association with the fans and corporations and marketing as you see here. It's just people line up for it here. It's not the way it is around the league, and it's also not the way it is when people start talking about 8 trips to Super Bowls. We're going to come back and continue the conversation of what that all means on PCNC. Audrey Guskey's here. She knows everything. All right, let's get to this,
Could you
Audrey.
tell my children that, please?
I just did.
Okay.
If they're watching, you just say, Mom knows everything, all right? I love having her on. Steeler merchandise, #1 for the NFL. Why is it that this happens? Why is the nation so powerful?
Well, once again, like we were saying, it's that brand, it's that image of the Steelers. People want to be associated with the winner. And the Steelers, I think more than any other team in any sport, really exemplifies and portrays who the people are in the community. We are hardworking, we're blue collar, you know, we are Steelers, we are tough, we've been through a lot economically, we've surfaced and we're doing fabulous. You know, if you look at all the things that have happened to us recently, getting the Winter Classic, the G20 coming, you know, people are looking at the city and we're no longer losers, or they're thinking, oh, old Pittsburgh. They're thinking, wow, great town, I want to be associated with it. I love the people there, I love the rivers, I love the beauty, and I love the Steelers. Keep in mind there's a lot of transplants too, who have taken their love and passion for the Steelers and gone elsewhere.
Oh, well, and I had a representative, actually Vice President of Sales and Marketing on the show last week from Visit Pittsburgh. And we talked about,
I saw that show.
Yeah, it was good. And
Very
he
good.
talked about how those people in other markets actually, in some sort of symbiotic way, works together with all these things.
Exactly, exactly. And they all want to be us.
Well, they want to be here, and,
Yes.
and they feel it, and they fuel it. And
They do feel it, and absolutely, and feel it, and it's huge. And it just gets bigger and better.
You made a great point earlier about how the Steelers, in effect, don't have to market, and that's singular in many respects in the NFL, if not corporate America.
Absolutely.
But the success, I think, is now, look, I'd like to believe that if the Steelers weren't winning games, that we still would, you know, be hardy. We still would be fighting through economic issues. We'd have a lot of the characteristics you just described.
Right,
I don't think we need to underestimate, though, the value or power of winning, let alone this frequency, in that entire thing. I mean, obviously, it plays because the more you win, the bigger games you get, the more exposure you get. You're not playing 1 o'clock football. You're playing 4:15, 8 o'clock, or 9:30, whatever the next.
You're there.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And you're getting the playoff games. So winning is an element to this as well. It pays off. I mentioned Troy Polamalu. 40% of NFL fans are female. Okay, I got this from CNBC. And I talked about Troy Polamalu, who has 875,000 fans on Facebook. I mentioned this earlier. 49% of his fans are female. With 40% of NFL fans being female, I don't want to be trite and say, well, they like his hair. I mean, these women are smart. They know what they're doing.
Yes.
And they know where to put their money.
Right.
And they control a lot of money in a lot of homes.
Tremendous
I think it's an unbelievable market to develop. I think it's an unbelievable reflection on that market that they go to somebody that they think is a good guy.
Yeah. What happened is, you know, for a while, for the longest time, sports were male-dominated, and we assumed that it was the men that were watching, the men that were buying the stuff and drinking the beer. Lo and behold, the Steelers recognized that, wait a minute, half of our fan base are women. Started holding seminars, talking to women about the techniques of football, brought out the pink. Not that I agree with the pink, but for the young women, it was huge. And so you add all that together, and the recognition that the female fans are just as important as the guys, and they are acknowledged, and we are knowledgeable, and we are supportive. Once again, we have the biggest female base of any NFL team by far. So, you know, you ask, Alice, you start adding it up, biggest female base, largest NFL, Troy Polamalu, largest number of shirts being sold. We had the largest number of people tuning into the playoff game. Super Bowl's going to set records. You've got over 106 million people watching it. Huge. It's a mass marketing event. You can't buy that kind of publicity.
I tell people, and I've been to several, and I've been to several Super Bowls. Just very quickly, when you go to a Super Bowl, it's unlike any other experience. And when you go to the AFC Championship game, and I've been to about 15, they're fascinating, they're great, and all that type of stuff. But the reality is, you can multiply it by 50. And that's how different it is at a Super Bowl. It's a marketing, merchandising, theatrical performance. So the hardcore fans may not be there in the numbers, and that's reflected in the type of presentation you get. But as she says, it turns into real money. We're going to come back, talk about how all this is turning into real money for you. All right? Do it right now in 2 minutes on PCNC. I'm really enjoying this tonight. Hopefully you are as well. Come back for more next week. I will say this. This is Night Talk, which means we talk at night. I'm going to ask it on live television, so what I can. Lauren, what was that city I was looking at we came out of, or going into break? It was beautiful. Center of the world, New York City. They're not going to any Super Bowl.
No, get them off the screen.
Get off the screen. That's right. Thanks
Put
to
us back on.
That's right. Oh, no, I llove when she does that. And the other night, Lauren did the coolest thing. Let me just say this quickly. We were talking about the address by the president and State of the Union. And she was, as we were breaking it down politically, she had shots, live shots of them coming into the chamber and so forth. Cool. It was setting the stage for what we were talking about.
Wow.
It was.
She's brilliant.
Courtney did it. Courtney or Lauren. All I know is it was like doing an NFL pregame show.
Neat.
Okay, and I'm watching the players coming into the field.
You gotta
love it. It was fun. I did.
When
now,
I come in next time, can you have me tape me as I'm coming in?
out in the parking lot.
Parking lot coming in, green room,
and all those roses we throw out for you.
I like that.
I know you do. It's a good twist.
And the champagne and the
don't get that anywhere else. Okay. Now, what about this? What does this mean for everybody out there, Pittsburgh area, when the Steelers continue to do all this?
What does this mean? We all know what it means. It's phenomenal as far as economically. If you look at the playoff games we played in Pittsburgh, you're looking at $45 million. Overall, if you look at total figures, you're looking at $10 billion of additional money that's coming in. Just that's national as a result of the Super Bowl. Now, how much do we get? Probably $200 million. Huge chunk of change. And, you know, it's the restaurants, it's bars, it's supermarkets, it's buying some big screen TVs, it's buying all the Steeler stuff that you have to buy. And so you add all that together, as well as people are in a good mood, which is a really interesting thing to think about, because if I'm happy and the Steelers are winning and they just won the Super Bowl, I'm going to go shopping and I'm going to spend money, not just on Steelers stuff, but other things. Being in a good mood puts people out there, makes you feel stronger, and economically, I don't know if my colleague Anthony Davies would agree with that, but overall I think it has a lot of motivation for people to get them in the marketplace.
You shouldn't have gone there. Now here's why I bring that up. I'm thinking to myself, we have this Winter Classic, we have the great holiday stuff, we've had this national exposure, international exposure, we've got more with the Steelers, and I hear about how this drives all this revenue and all the money. I accept it, you say it, I believe it. However, all I keep thinking about is, my God, can you imagine if we actually had the city and county government where it needed to be? Because if that'd be the case, with this on top, it blows it out. I mean, it becomes, I mean, it's already incredibly well regarded. And we know that as a city and as a region in terms of livability and things of that sort.
Right.
And look, cities, it's a recession. It affects everybody. We're not excluded. Maybe it's a little wish list stuff.
But you know, we have been excluded a bit. We have been
not as harsh.
In a bubble. It's not as harsh. We didn't hit the high, we didn't hit the low. And so as a result, with these types of things, it's icing on the cake for us. Pittsburgh has economically thrived and done pretty well, very well.
Well, you can make an argument then. I have less than 60 seconds. I'll make it quickly, and that could be difficult. But you can make an argument then that it is these developments, the Penguins' success, the Steelers' success, that have put a bit of a Band-Aid and helped us through this patch.
The business of sports, the sports of business. I mean, in reality, it's helped us. You know, people, our society, our culture, we're very sports-oriented. And has it helped us? Absolutely. You know, which helps what? Does the city help the teams, or the teams winning because we're so supportive? You know, all that matters is we are winning, we are going to the Super Bowl, and go Steelers.
So by tying together sports business reports and commentaries I do every day, that's a good idea?
That's an absolutely great idea.
You're Audrey Guskey.
I am.
All right, Audrey,
and I have
so
to wave
much.
to my little grandson,
Jake.
Jake.
Oh, wait, we do this again. Oh,
I'm sorry, I have to do it.
No, do that
Jake
again.
stayed up.
Wait, a little wave, yeah.
Hi, Jake.
All right, Audrey, we enjoyed it. Do you see Anthony Davies around campus?
I do, of course.
Another guy's a big shot. I mean, you got a lot of big shots up there.
Oh, yes. Well, Duquesne, you know, we're something. We're, you know,
special.
We are special.
And you win a lot of basketball right now.
We're a big deal, you know. Yes,
Audrey,
and basketball.
Thanks. All right,
thanks,
be good.
Alex.
All right, enjoy the Super Bowl.
Okay,
all right, everybody. God bless.
Go
This is a lot of fun. There you have it. We'll be back talking more Night Talk soon. Thanks, Lauren, Courtney, George, and all. I'm Ellis. You're watching Night Talk on PCNC.